This podcast was recorded on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation.
Guys, welcome back, and second episode of the year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
2025 to everyone. Another week of Mad About You. Now, we appreciate having you guys with us for 2025. You have locked yourselves into a invisible contract. You do have to check in every week from now on, which is lovely. But this week, we are doing an Ask Us Anything episode where we put a little question box up online where you guys could ask us a few questions that you guys wanted the answers to about our lives or anything that we do. And we have an Ask Mum and Dad this week about a couple who are struggling with their sex life a little bit and wanted a little bit of assistance. But before we get stuck in, we thought it was an ample time to have a little discussion, as cliche as it may be, about a few New Year's resolutions that Jad and I have for 2025. What do you got for me, darling?
Well, look, I use the same one every year, but I really want to be more organised. And I feel like that's like a nice umbrella for my entire life. Because if I'm more organised, everything goes really well.
I think you've been doing pretty well.
No, because the house is a shambles again. I've done it again.
Yeah, but you're organised in most other areas.
I'm really time poor. Time management's not good for me.
Okay.
And I feel like being organised kind of fits the mould for that.
And you know what? If you just keep having it every year, like 1 year, you'll get it. So
no, but every year I get a little bit closer.
Yeah, I actually think you're doing all right. So.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
One that I have is one that I've probably put on the back burner since, maybe a little bit before having Fletch. And obviously since having Fletch is I want to get back into my acting and voice classes that I sort of, I was really enjoying, and it was bringing a lot of, excitement into my life. And then I kind of hung up the boots on them. So I'd like to get back into that in 2025 if I have a couple of hours during the day.
That's a fabulous idea.
Thanks, sweetie.
My next one is I really want to get fit. I want to work on my fitness because my back's killing me and I haven't been able to do anything since having Fletcher, and long before that, when I was pregnant, I wasn't really doing any exercise, and I feel a lot better in every way when I'm a little bit fitter and stronger. And you kind of have to be. Like, I'm lugging around, what is he, 8 kilos now?
Yeah.
Every day. He's bloody heavy up and down the stairs, so that's taken a toll on my back, and I need to strengthen the core.
I think you just need to get back into your Pilates and stuff. You love that stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to go to yoga tonight, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd like to go to the gym, so scissors, paper, rock for it.
Oh, crap. This is our life now, guys. We have to take turns doing things.
Seriously. All right. I also had one. Jad and I had a discussion recently about our business and launching like a new little leg off our business. So we're going to be working on that this year, and hopefully we get to bring it to fruition at some point during the year. And perhaps when it's a little bit deeper into the works, we'll be able to share that with you. But yeah, that's a little one of mine.
My last one is to just be the best mum that I can be.
Oh, that's similar to my last one.
Okay, whatever.
I said
said
spend as much time as possible together with Fletch and learning and adventuring together as a family.
Yeah, exactly. To spend more time together.
No, you can't change yours now.
Oh, God.
Yours was just be a good mum. Mine was spend time with you.
All right. Well, I want to be the best parent that I can be and spend a lot of quality time with my son and make sure that that's a priority, because sometimes I get lost in like the chaos of my job. So making sure that Fletch is the forefront of my mind and spending lots of time with him as he grows, because he changes so rapidly and it's terrifying, and I don't want to miss anything, not a single moment.
I feel like you just tried to one-up me there.
Sorry, mate.
It worked. Guys, that's the resolutions for this year for us. And let me say that I think it's a good thing to have a little think about life and the way
what
things
are you doing with your
the,
body? Sorry, guys, you can't see. Lots doing this weird tense thing. Just relax, brother.
Yeah, they couldn't see that though, so we didn't need to speak
I can see it. It's bothering me.
Sorry, guys. Holy moly. Jad's resolution has become more tolerable. Tolerant, sorry.
Yeah, your resolution is to learn how to talk.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I think it's a nice little idea to have a think about your life and the things you want to achieve in your year. And I think the best way to set goals and resolutions is to have them sort of be achievable and make them smaller, if anything, than bigger, and tick them off, because that's what feels good. When you make one, you succeed in it and you tick it off. It feels better than having one like, to be more organised every year and fail. So.
No, sweet ass. Cheers.
All right, guys, let's get stuck in. All right, guys, our first question comes in and it says, did you guys go through the roommate phase after Fletch? If so, how did you handle it?
What is actually the roommate phase?
I assume it's when like you no longer, I actually don't know, but I would assume it's like when you just feel like you're not in a relationship, like it's not a
Like
romantic,
platonic vibes.
Yeah, you're just kind of getting by and you're living in the same space with each other, but not together, I would assume. We definitely went through that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Could still be doing that actually.
Yeah, a little bit.
6 months in.
But at least we have a laugh now from time to time.
Yeah, I think definitely I would say we did, but that's just because when the little one comes along, it's such a big new thing to navigate, and you're both trying to find your feet and find your strengths and what the other needs help with and whatnot. So a lot of the time it would be like so draining and so tiresome that you're often looking after the bub by yourself to give the other person a break. So then you're kind of doing this like weird shift work. So you definitely don't have time to like relax together and enjoy each other's company or even eat meals together or, you know, watch a show together or lay in each other's lap and read a book. Like that just didn't happen anymore. So we definitely had that phase at the beginning. And I would dare say we still sort of have a little bit of that now. Still.
I don't think it's like this thing that is like you're avoiding intimacy. So if that's how some people think it is, it's not that. It's that you literally don't have time. Like you just do not have time in the day to really sit down and have a cuddle or have quality alone time. Like that just doesn't happen anymore because like Locke said, one of you's always juggling, you know, the bub or you're both juggling the bub together or, you know, the kind of quality time that we would have is like going for a walk with him and going to a cafe and eating and like that's really nice that we have pockets of that. However, it's not really like intimate, you know, that's just like it's nice time that we have together where we get to chat and stuff. But yeah, it's not like you do kind of fall into like a roommate phase. But the thing I want to say is that it doesn't bother you like you might think. So because you're so consumed by your gorgeous little baby and, you know, you're getting so much out of that and you know that this isn't permanent, it's temporary. It's not something that you're really worrying about every day. And whilst you have moments where you kind of look at each other and go, oh, I really miss you, and you really miss one another, it's not like the roommate phase is this like, you know, big dark cloud that's like looming over your relationship and making it feel worse. Like it's not like that. It's just kind of this thing that you slip into and it is what it is. And you just know that it's not going to stick around forever. That's my take.
It's temporary. So if you're worried about that or if you're going through it yourself with your partner, just know that it'll pass and you'll find your little pockets of time. But yeah,
I think we've had
go easy on yourself.
I think we've had 2 times in the past 6 months where we've had like planned alone time without Fletch. One of those times was literally for half an hour. Remember, we went to the park because Mum had Fletch.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other time was when we went to the basketball for your birthday. And that wasn't even really quality time because, like, we kind of rushed there, watched the game, and then rushed home. So, there haven't been many instances. That's 2, really, in 6 months where we've actually been alone together and enjoyed time together.
Yeah, so we're probably not the best to actually give advice on that because I don't know, I wouldn't say we have handled it all that well or we don't have anything in place at the moment to kind of mitigate those feelings. We're just kind of, we just understand that we're in that at the moment.
It is what it is, yeah.
When he gets a little bit more independent and can communicate or whether you can get a sitter or whatnot, you might have a little bit more time for each other. But right now we're just aware that that's not how it's going to be.
Okay. Our next question says, how do you get over a breakup when you really thought they were going to be the one? I have had a couple of kind of breakups where I thought they were going to be the one.
Who was it?
Locke being one of them, actually.
Oh, sorry.
You okay?
Yeah.
Got a bit bitey there.
Just mucking around.
And I think it always takes some time. So you've really got to give yourself time to like mourn the relationship because that's essentially what you're doing. And then what you've got to do is keep yourself busy, have lots of fun, hang out with your friends, with your family, do things that you really enjoy, and remind yourself constantly that if they were the one for you, it would have worked out, you know? And it just means that, you know, one door closes, another door opens, and the door that opens is going to be bigger and better and nicer and happier and more exciting. And look forward to that because it is coming. It will come, you know? A door doesn't close because it's right for you. It closes because it's something that you're not supposed to have anymore. So don't view the relationship as something that should have been. View it as something that you experienced, that happened, and now it's done. If someone's meant to be for you, you will find your way back to them, but don't cling on to that thought and that hope and just try to make it happen, because that's not how these things work. You need to let it go completely, move on completely, and just trust that what your future holds is better for you, because it always, always, always 100% is.
Would you say, like, would you be an advocate then for like brat girl summer?
God, I hate when you learn lingo, honestly.
Well, that's serious. Like you said, like get out there, like have fun.
Have a bit of fun.
So like
yeah,
brat girl summer?
Sure. Have a brat girl summer. Why
You
not?
could have summarised that by just saying brat girl summer then. That whole bit.
I'm glad that's what you took from that.
Well,
response.
okay, yeah. No, I don't disagree with anything you've said. That was amazing, brat girl summer. But essentially, when you think they're the one, like I've been there as well. I literally remember in year 8 dating this girl, and I was like, there is not a chance in the world that I'm not marrying this girl. Like this is the one. We used to hang out in like this. We used to hang out in this stairway of like a building in the mornings. Like we would go meet up, and I was like, this is beautiful. This is romantic. Like this is love. This is life. You know. So like, of course you have those feelings, and of course, like in the moment, it feels like everything. But they're never the one until they're the one, right? Like that's the way I always looked at it. And
so true.
And the thing is, when you're dating people, you'll always move on to the next person, and you'll find things about that next person that you like and love even more than the person before, or that are better. Or you go like, oh, I can't imagine like not having this new person in my life in comparison to the last, you know? So as in, yeah, I think that what Jad said, like when a door closes, just know that a nicer one's about to open, and don't hang on to those feelings. Let it go, and bigger and better things around the corner. 2025, it's going to be big.
Brat girl summer.
Get out there, brat girl summer. Get on the dating apps. Right.
Sorry,
numbers game.
What was that?
Swipe right.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I was thinking you meant like handwriting. I was confused. I thought
No. You can journal as well if that would help
pen
you.
letters to your significant other.
Yeah, we could do that.
You should write me more notes.
I do.
More.
Okay.
You haven't written me notes since I went away and found out I was pregnant.
Did I write your note then?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. What romantic.
Remember I came home to a note. It was about Shrek, I think. Anyway, go on.
Okay. All right, guys, next one. It says, do either of you guys get jealous easily? If so, how do you deal with it? And if not, what's some advice for me, please?
I used to. Yeah. I was the jealous type. But it's something that fades.
What made you jealous? Like, what's a trigger for you? Like,
Probably just a lack of security in previous relationships.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying, what's a trigger that you would see that would make you jealous, or
your phone would light up, and I go, "What's that? Who's that?" Like, and I would just assume that something dodgy was happening in the very beginning for some reason.
Sure.
You know, or
probably the boys being like spring water tunas on special at Woolies. Get there.
or if there was like an unknown female in a situation that had somehow been planted there. And I would just kind of watch you to see how you interacted with them.
What? Give me an example of that.
Make sure nothing was sus. I don't know.
But what could possibly happen that was
If
sus?
there was a female that I knew that you would deem as an attractive woman, I would get a little bit like tense. Like, what's going on?
What, in case I just ripped her clothes off then and there?
No, in case you go, you know what, that's the one for me.
Who's thinking that when they're with their person? Those thoughts
A
don't
lot
even
of
come into your
people.
mind.
A lot of people think that stuff and then they...
Yeah, but they're not with
Cheat.
the right person.
Exactly.
Yeah, jealousy is a tricky one. I think that I would say that most people feel it to a degree, but then I think it's definitely something that you can also work on and get over. I think as you become a little bit more confident in yourself and your
When have you ever been
relationship.
jealous?
I've been jealous in previous relationships, but I think that more came from like a lack of trust. Like if I didn't trust that someone was like a loyal person, then I would fear that they were doing dodgy things, and then it's like this little, poison in your mind where you'd see something like you said, you'd see them with someone and you'd go, oh, they're probably doing something dodgy, and that would make me jealous. But it came down to the fact that I didn't trust them, and that's what was making me feel that way,
What about with me?
No, I've never been jealous.
I'm almost offended, to be honest.
I feel so secure in our relationship because I know we have such a strong bond that I don't care, Like you you've traveled alone heaps. Like when we've been in a relationship, other countries, I've seen you in photos with boys. You've done, tours with boys. You've done like, fitness retreats with lots of fit, good-looking dudes. Like I couldn't care less. You know what I mean? Like as in because I trust you.
Saying boys, it sounds a bit weird.
What do you mean?
Can we just clarify these in men?
Did I say that? I thought I said dudes.
Keep saying boys.
Yeah, like I'm not really one to worry, so I might not be the best one to talk to. But yeah, I've definitely felt that in the past, and I think if you are feeling those things, it's an inner journey you need to take, or it's a slight indication that perhaps you're not with the right person and you don't fully trust them.
You might need a bit more security from that person as well. I'm pretty sure I did express to you at the start of our relationship that I wasn't feeling super secure and that I needed a bit more from you, and you went to like a big effort to make sure that I did feel secure in our relationship, and here we are, and I do. So, yeah, it's something that you need to obviously work on your own and be conscious of it and ask yourself why. Is it because of that person specifically, or is it because of other things that have happened? And try to separate them if they are other things. And if it's because of that person, obviously you need to tackle whatever that situation is.
All right, are there any aspects of your life that you miss before having a baby?
Yes.
Yes.
God, sleeping.
A million things.
Sleeping, having a cuddle, like just lying in bed with Locke and watching TV together at the end of the night, lying in bed at the end of the night. Now it's just like as soon as we hit
Jad's just said lying in bed like 3 times in
love
4
lying in
sentences.
bed, but now I can't do it unless I'm sleeping, and I don't really get to sleep, so...
Yeah, I would say even more just the freedom of not having to worry about, like you can just make a decision and not have to worry about something. So like Jad and I could uproot and go to Melbourne for a weekend, or if a job opportunity came up, we just go, like you don't need to think about things. You go out to dinner, it doesn't matter. A friend invites you somewhere, you can just say yes. It's all these little things that just slightly change and the logistics shift and things become a little bit harder.
Doing things in the evening.
Yeah.
That's so hard now.
A baby's on such a, what I would almost describe as like a strict schedule or routine. It doesn't really leave much margin for error. So, I definitely miss just like alone time with Jad. As beautiful it is to be a family and you're in awe, 99.9% of the time. It's, you do miss just being with your partner and having the freedom and flexibility to do what you want when you want and not be ruled by a little one. Not
creeping around the house at night. Driving in the car without being anxious about a baby starting to scream because he doesn't like the car seat.
Yeah.
It's kind of just being relaxed, really. That doesn't exist when you're a parent. There's no relaxing.
Yeah.
It's just you're on. You're on all the time. Even when you're sleeping, you're alert. So it's, just really kicking back at the end of the day when you've had a long day. You can't do that. You've got to keep going and then keep going.
Yeah, seeing friends is something that you can't just say yes to all the time, and it's different. But we miss things, but also I wouldn't trade any of it
absolutely not
to be back there. So.
The joy that he brings is just...
You'll be fine if you're in the same boat.
Yeah. What advice would you give yourselves when you were in the newborn phase with Fletch? That's a really hard one.
Well, you shouldn't have said it then.
No, because what advice can you give someone who's going through newborn? Like, do you think there's anything anyone could have said to us that would have helped us prepare?
No, not really.
That's the thing.
You just gotta tackle it. And everyone's situation is so vastly different that our advice for you and our experience is not going to help because your baby, if they're 10, 20, 30% different, then it's just going to be a totally different ride for you,
Yeah,
So
exactly. Like some babies have issues with reflux. Some babies sleep really well in their bassinet but not in a pram. Some babies sleep really well in the pram and not in the bassinet. So like it's just so different. And I think my advice to you would be just know, the one thing that helped me was just know that it's not permanent. Like what you're experiencing in this moment, it's not going to last forever and you'll overcome it and tomorrow's a new day. Just remember tomorrow is a new day because it is.
Yeah, and don't fear like asking for help, you got a partner and you have every right to ask them to help and share the load with you. And then also, family and friends are often like so excited for you and want to be a part of that little journey with you as well. But they're also, sometimes quite polite and they don't want to, tread on toes and be too needy at that time as well. So they actually want to be there and help. And, if you do need assistance, feel free to, to ask and reach out to people.
We didn't ask enough, I feel. I think think we were just trying to do everything on our own, and we were just probably feeling a bit anxious about it all, and we just felt it was easier for us to not ask for help, but we probably could have. I also find it interesting that you suggest asking your partner for help, because how many times do you reckon you've asked me for help over the course of 6 months?
Yeah, but I'm talking general people.
No, how many times?
How I asked you for help?
Yeah.
I don't need it.
See?
Yeah, but I'm different.
You need to take your own advice, buddy.
I'm fine.
0 times, I reckon, he's come to me and gone, hey, can you help out with this?
Yeah, but I'm fine. I don't need it. I'm saying if you need help, I got this.
I think we've got conflicting comments coming from another pod here. I think
we're fine.
Some of our listeners might remember.
No, I mean help with asking for help dealing with like emotions or things that are going on in the previous pod. I'm not talking about like dealing with, being a little bit sleep deprived or physically exhausted. That's fine. I can do that. A couple of coffees, couple of white monsters, you're sweet.
Whatever you say, buddy.
All right, next one. What is a deal breaker for each of you in a relationship? Jad hasn't got one, guys. Just thinking about it.
I've got too many. I'm like, where do I start?
Hit him. There's no limit. Go. Hit me with some. I want to know.
Cheating.
Them. Yeah, that's I think a given for both of us. We're not really in the forgiving mindset for cheating. If you cheat and you break that trust, see you later. I don't care what we've built
That's
together,
a deal breaker.
family. I'll figure it out on my own.
I think just betraying their trust in general. Like, I don't like lying. So if you lie and I find out, that's see ya.
Wait, any lie?
It really bothers me because then I start thinking you're lying about other things, even if it's little. And that really, it does get to you. If they're little white lies, it really plays on your mind because then you start questioning every little thing.
So what about, just for example, if one night I was up with Fletch for hours because he wasn't sleeping well and then you woke up in the morning and I didn't want you to, feel bad for sleeping through and not helping and I just said, yeah, you slept fine. That would upset you, a little white lie?
If I found out, yes, it would upset me, yeah.
Why?
Because I don't want to be in a partnership with someone who feels that they need to do that for my sake because it's never benefiting me, ever.
Sure.
That's just not something that helps me.
Okay.
I would much prefer to know what the actual situation was so we can attack it together.
Sure. I also think one more for me is I don't know, perhaps major decisions being made without consultation. What's so funny about it?
What are you referring to?
Well, I just as in let's say you went out and just bought
booked a trip
expensive
to Paris
car or
with
something,
my mum without asking,
or went and just splashed heaps of money. When you're a family and finances are different or tight,
Sure.
you just. I think that you need to make decisions together, and it's a communal effort. So,
but what if one person's the breadwinner and they just want to treat themselves and they don't want to ask for permission?
I still think that it's a communal effort. You might be the breadwinner,
True.
but let's say,
True.
For example, in my family, my dad went to work, but my mum looked after 5 kids.
Yeah.
It's not negating her
Yeah.
effort or work. It doesn't
course.
mean that she shouldn't have a say with how the money is spent in the family.
I agree. Ask your partner before you spend lots of money.
Yeah. Just take note, Jad.
What is your number one tip for maintaining a healthy relationship?
With each other?
No, sweetheart, you with the pot plant.
No, it could be a friend or something. I don't have any relationships with any pot plants.
Yes, a happy, healthy relationship together.
I would say, continue to be silly with each other. You need to laugh. You need to have a good time. You can't be super serious all the time.
Have fun.
Have fun with each other and keep it jovial and fresh. And actually, when we had the love doctor on recently, she sort of alluded to that when
She did. She said stay playful.
Yeah, she said stay playful and continue doing the things that you did at the beginning of the relationship
Yes.
to make it feel like that, that fun, sexy honeymoon stage. We shouldn't stop those things because if you want your relationship to feel as zesty as it was at the start, you need to continue those things. So I think that was really good advice.
It
actually,
was
and
good
something
advice.
that I didn't really think about is a very simple answer to probably quite an age-old question. But I think Jad and I do a good job at keeping it fun and silly with each other and mucking around all the time.
We also communicate quite well, I think. So if there's something that we need to chat about, we have a chat about it. We're both pretty good at eventually acknowledging what the other one's feeling and, you know, apologizing if something needs apologizing for, or, you know, addressing something and then kind of putting the issue to bed and moving on from it. So like, you know, we do that kind of repair work instead of just letting something simmer in the background and ignoring it. So we have a really good stream of like open communication with one another, and we're not afraid to tell each other how we feel about something, and I think that really helps.
Amen.
Okay, our next question is, if you don't mind me asking, how is your sex life post-baby?
So good. I'm getting lost in my mind right now. It's taking me places, and it's beautiful.
What sex life? Guys, come on. That's just, unfortunately, it's not a priority. And, you know, we look forward to doing that again sometime, but it's not on the cards. We don't have alone time. And sorry, I think people who are doing it are often doing it with the baby in the room.
Oh, that would be weird.
You know? Think about it. Unless you got the monitor on.
I feel like if you're asking the question, I can only assume that you don't have a kid, right? Because you have this
you haven't experienced
different perception about what it's like. But at the end of the day, like I reckon we get him to bed around about 8:30 at night, right? And then once he's in bed, it doesn't mean that he's down. It's not like you get 4 hours to yourself or anything. He'll stir.
He stirs
cry
the whole night.
Every 30 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes. But in that 40 minutes, it's like you need to do the washing, you need to do the dishes, you need to do
eat
work,
dinner, have a shower.
You need to clean the table that he got food all over and the floor where all the stuff. Like there's
Clean the
always
bottles.
things to do, and it's not like when you finish those tasks, you look at each other, do a cheeky wink, and you go, man, you're looking sweaty and hot.
Tell you what, that 5 hours of sleep's really get me going now.
Yeah, so it is a tricky one, and I dare say, I'll be honest.
People do have morning coitus.
He wakes us up by screaming.
Yeah, you know.
Is that a turn on?
I think maybe people who have babies that sleep in their bassinets during the day maybe would have more opportunity. But Fletcher just needs constant movement. So he has most of his naps in the pram, which makes that a bit hard for us, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If
sorry
you're
to our
lucky,
parents if you're listening.
Yeah, you're lucky, you're well rested. Well, I feel sorry for them. They're not going to get another grandkid anytime soon. It's not possible logistically.
It's not something that's bothering us, you know, in the way that you might think. Like we said previously, our priority is Fletcher right now, and we know that this is just a chapter of our lives and it's just the way that it is right now, and it's not going to be like this forever. So it's not like looming over us. Maybe if it was still like this in a year's time, I don't know. What do you think? Like, what's the time limit on us just being like this until we get a bit like, oh, come on?
Yeah, I mean, there's no time limit. When you're ready, you're ready. There's no pressure.
Yeah, also, guys, when you have a second degree tear, like you're not really like, woo!
I was just about to bring that up, and then
Let's
I was
go.
like, maybe she didn't want to. But yeah, Jad literally got, you know, stitched up in the hoochie area.
I'm still healing. Might need to go to a doctor. Might need to figure out what's going on down there because, you know, don't know.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe not everything's working down there or feeling as smooth and
it
nice
just
as
takes
perhaps
time.
it should. So
I mean, you've had stitches in your vaginal muscle.
That was a beautiful combination. Of
like,
words.
you know, it's really intense. It's not just something that you just bounce back from.
Yeah, guys, I wish we had a little bit more juice for you, but unfortunately, no pun intended, we don't.
What the hell, Locke? Like, where do you, like, when these things come to your brain, do you think maybe I won't say that out loud ever?
No, you always test it. It's much easier to ask for forgiveness than
you
permission.
painted such a yuck image.
So there we are, guys. Our that area of our life is yet to take off, but I don't know. Ask us again in 6 months, and we might have a different answer for you.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right, guys. Now to end this week's episode, we have a nice short Ask Mum and Dad. It says, "Hey guys, love the pod. Wish you recorded more than one episode a week.
So real.
Appreciate that. Just a quick one. My partner never wants to have sex with the lights on or anywhere other than the bedroom. How do I approach this with them gently?"
That's a bit weird.
What's a bit weird?
What about during the day?
Well, they probably don't do it.
That's a bit weird.
Wait, why is it weird?
They might be insecure.
It's just a personal preference. Yeah, I would assume it's something.
Yeah, but
to
it would
do
be
with that,
boring
right?
not doing it anywhere but the bedroom and with the lights off.
I feel like lights off, it's almost like that's sort of just, you could
you could fiddle with yourself and it would be pretty similar. Because it'd just be like having your eyes closed,
Yeah,
right?
that's pretty much the same thing. Why do people have sex at all?
Well, the lights would be on.
God.
I reckon. I mean, when that first came to me, that question, I sort of thought to myself, like I would assume perhaps they weren't super confident or something. So perhaps as the partner, what you could do is it might not be an immediate fix, you know, like it might not be like you go, hey, how about it? Let's turn the lights on, and suddenly you're in the lounge room doing it on the couch. But I think maybe, you know, you need to build your partner's confidence up a little bit by maybe hyping them and telling them how good they look and how beautiful they are in all walks of regular day, you know, and sort of, you know, hype them into building that self-confidence a little bit, and then perhaps you broach the topic in the future. But I wouldn't just
Why don't you get things going on the couch? Next time you're sitting on the couch together, just get things going. You know what I mean? I don't need to go into detail.
I reckon they've tried though. That's what you're saying, they won't do it anywhere but the bedroom with the lights off.
Well, ask why. Sorry, I want an explanation. Why? You don't want to get the couch dirty? Is it a really nice couch? Fair enough. Put a towel down.
No, yeah, I doubt it's
What's the reason?
Nice couch. I reckon it's just the, you know, comfortability and confidence.
This poor
with your
person's
partner.
probably a bit bored.
Which one? Oh, the one that.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say bored. It's just like when you're in love and you want to sleep with your partner, and it's this nice experience. Like you want to look in each other's eyes. You want to have a little giggle. It's like that's half the excitement, right? If
I
you're in
think
the
you need
pitch
to have a
black,
yarn. You need to say, come on, what's going on? Ask why. What is the actual reason for this happening?
Okay, here's my answer. Just like it with the lights off.
Okay, well, I like it with the lights on. So that's called compromising. We're in a relationship, but that's what you've got to do in a relationship, compromise.
What, so one session off, one on?
Why don't they close one eye? Or they can put a blindfold on while the partner puts the lights on.
Yes, that would work. But if it's a confidence thing, then perhaps not.
No, because you can't see anything, so you don't know what's going on.
I mean, yeah, you could close one eye, or you could have a chat to your partner and maybe gas them up a little bit and build their self-confidence.
Yeah.
And, you know, just let them know how sexy you think they are, how beautiful they are, and, you know, how much you love their body. Just little things like that, which, you know, maybe that would inspire them and ignite them to want to have the lights on during those experiences. But, yeah. That would be, you know, a difficult one if...
And if all else fails, try the blindfold.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for writing in.
Yeah, that's all I've got for you.
As always, we very much appreciate you guys tuning in. If you want to send in your Ask Mum and Dads, please do so at madaboutYou@novapodcast.com.au. And thanks again for joining us for today's episode. We look forward to seeing you next week.
We appreciate you.